Hello, got this beautiful desk that I finished. It's a Greek key desk, and this desk will be painted. But yeah, I figured I'd show everyone what I got going on here. It's a cool piece. I'm always posting furniture that I'm building, and since I'm always building furniture, I'm always posting about furniture. So yeah, I made this desk for a client, and we're going to offer it in our line of furniture. But I got this video, so kind of show you how I make this thing, and hopefully you can make something like it as well. Details along all of the legs. Again, you got the nice Greek key detail in the face and all the way around this piece of furniture. It goes all the way around. It's meant to be seen from all sides, and it's a good looking piece. And yeah, it's got nice cherry drawers, nice solid cherry drawers, and it's going to be a piece that lasts a long time. So it uses traditional joinery and traditional construction methods. So yeah, it should last longer than you. So anyway, enjoy this video. Let me know what you think. Obviously like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, another video in the works. So for starters, we have to make this Greek key trim, and I'm going to do that using my pin router. But I'll have to double-side tape this on here and put on a piece of 1/4-inch MDF because this cabinet is going to be painted. MDF's a great product for painting. So here you see I'm running through the pin router. I've got a 1/4-inch straight cutting bit set on a 1/4-inch pin, and I'm just running this through here. It's going to create, I'll create about 4 pieces of this trim. It's about 60 inches long, and I'll use it all over this cabinet. Now we got to make up some legs. Our legs are 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, so we'll go ahead and just glue up some boards here. And you can see, just take a brush, a little bit of wood glue, and just go to town with this thing. Get it sopped on there, and then we'll clamp it up and leave that for a couple hours. And we'll start working these legs down after they dry. Now I'll run these through the joiner. These I'm just going to run both sides. And I'll take up a table saw. We're going to cut it down to about 2 3/8. Once you get these things cut down to the table saw, we'll go ahead and run them to the planer, and then we'll plane them down to our final 2 1/4 dimension. We'll run it through one side, we'll rotate it, and we'll run it to the other side until we get to that 2 1/4. From here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start putting our angles on our pieces. So we're going to measure down 5 inches from the top, and we're going to measure over about, I want to say it's 5/8 of an inch. And then draw ourselves a nice straight line going both ways. We're going to create a taper. So from here, we can take these legs, we're going to run them over to our bandsaw. And at the bandsaw, we'll set this thing up so we don't want our blade to be too high. You want that blade to be maybe 1 inch above your stock. And we'll go ahead and run this thing through the bandsaw. And I always just use something if I'm going to get my fingers close, just help kind of press it through there, kind of like a little push stick. So we'll run both sides through, and then we're going to head over to our edge sander. The edge sander is going to allow us to get this thing nice and flat. The bandsaw doesn't make the straightest cut in the world, so the edge sander just makes that nice and straight. It looks really good. So we'll hit both sides. We're going to go back over to the bandsaw. We're going to bandsaw the other side of our taper, just like you saw earlier in the video. And then we'll go back to the edge sander. We're going to go ahead and edge sander the other side, and that's going to leave us with a nice tapered leg. Again, the taper from the top is 5 inches. And then at the very bottom, I want to say it ends up being about a 1-inch leg. So here's just a quick little view of what this thing looks like when it is all finished. All right, so now we're going to start mapping out all the locations of our domino tools, our tenons basically. We're going to measure all those out, and then we're going to match those onto our legs. And these are going to form this is basically the end panel assemblies for this desk. We'll end up putting domino tenons in the legs and in these side panels. And I get this domino, and we'll go ahead and just start dominoing these tenons. And I think I go in about, I want to say I got about 7/8 of an inch on each surface. And I figure, yeah, it probably works better to have a vacuum attached. I mean, I paid all that money for the vacuum and I'm going to use it. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and add in all these tenons. And it just goes super fast. I love the domino. It just makes these tenons so easy. Now from here we're going to test fit everything. I just test fit absolutely everything I make it. It doesn't matter how many times I make it, I always test it. Throw these things on here, it looks like everything fits nice. A little tap of the hammer, it's nice and stout. So now we'll go ahead and take this apart. We're going to throw our glue and everything in here, and we're going to glue up these end panels, and this will be basically the first assembly that we're going to put together for this desk. We'll go ahead and hit the second one, so it'll give us both sides, and we're ready to move on to our framing panel, which is the base of our cabinet. So we're going to run some stock here. This is just 3" by 3/4 inch stock, and I'm putting a 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch dado in it. And this will accept our cherry plywood center panels here. You can see I'm gluing this framing panel up, and this is, again, this is the base of our desk. This is basically the main body of the desk. So we want to glue this thing up using 3" stock. Clamp it all up, and we'll check it for square, and we'll let this thing dry for a couple hours and move on to the next part of our process. Now that this panel is dry, we're going to go in and we need to cut out a bunch of notches in every corner where the legs are going to go. So this particular framing panel is going to rest inside of a rabbet, which is cut in all of the panels along the outside of our desk. And I apologize, I didn't take a video of that, but it's basically just a rabbet that's 1 inch, or excuse me, 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. So here you see I'm just using my little jam saw here and cutting all these notches in here so that this panel will fit around each one of the legs. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut all my dados in here. I kind of pre-measured where I want all these dados to go. And these dados are just going to be down 3/8 of an inch, and they're of course going to be 3/4 of an inch wide because our mid panels are made of 3/4 inch plywood. And you'll see those here shortly. Now I could run all this through my table saw, but I don't like running big parts through my saw, and I don't mind just running a 1/2 inch bearing cutter. Now here I'm going to do the same thing on the back panel here, and these dados just match the base framing panel dados. And these ones, I think I make them a 1/2 inch. So when I put those center panels in there, I put this whole thing together, I check it. Now I'm just going to disassemble it because I know everything fits. Now I'm going to go ahead and start spreading glue on this thing and start gluing all of this up. So I obviously glued the frame up. Here I'm sticking glue around my frame and panel. I'm going to go ahead and set this frame and panel inside here. I'm just going to clamp the heck out of it. Get this thing fitting nice and square. Make sure all my joints are nice and tight. And again, this is the base of your carcass, so it's important that you take the time to get it all glued up correctly. And you can see that the joints are all nice and tight, and it looks good. Come alongside, you can see the rabbet there. That's where one of our trim pieces is going to go. You'll see that later in the video. It is run all the way along the outside of our cabinet. Now here we're going to go ahead and put in our center panel. I'm just running a couple of holes in here, just pre-drilling some holes. I'll stick some glue in there and then put these center panels in there, and I'm just going to use a couple of Craig screws to suck this thing down tight. Just slapping these things in here. Grab my drill and run a couple Craig screws underneath, and sucks it down nice and tight. It's dry. We're going to go ahead and start putting our soft close undermount slides in. These are 18-inch slides. We can just set these things flush with the face of our carcass here. We'll run these things in. I use washer head screws. Go ahead and put some nosing around this top here. So I got a bunch of masking tape strips here. I'm gonna use some wood glue. I still have a little jam saw here. I'm just gonna cut this stuff out. I'm gonna glue it on here, hit it with a masking tape, and I'm gonna do it all the way around this thing. And that's how I'm gonna put the nosing on this top. So I'm not going to clamp it up. I don't see any point. I'm just going to, this is kind of how I like to do a lot of my nosing. And I do this because I'm not a fan of edge banding, right? Like edge banding is, in my mind, is kind of cheap, and it doesn't always hold very well, especially when you're going to paint something, right? The chemical reaction from the lacquer and the glue that's on that edge banding can cause it to separate sometimes, you know. So this just seems to be a much better way. It's just to glue the stuff on. It doesn't take much longer. We've got to fit our top on. We've put all the nose in on the outside of the top. So we're going to go ahead and put this, just rest this thing on here, and basically I'm just kind of feeling around to see where it fits best. Now I've got myself a scale, and I'm going to check to make sure that I have this thing in the correct location. Now once I know where I want this, I'm going to scratch some lines on here with a pencil. I'm going to do that around all these legs, and I'll do it around the entire cabinet so that I know exactly where this top is supposed to lay. And I'll use these lines to put my dowel holes in this thing. I'll put dowel holes in the carcass, and then I'll put dowel holes in the top as well. Now here you can see I've measured over approximately 1 inch, and this is going to be where the dowel is going to go in the leg. And now I'm going to match the exact same hole over on my top. And I'll do this for all 4 legs. I'll go ahead and drill these holes in. I'm starting with an 1/8 inch bit and a bushing block. I'll do this in all 4 corners. And the bushing block just helps you to keep things nice and perpendicular. You don't want to have crooked holes. So that's one of the reasons I use this block. So then we'll move over to our 3/8 bit with a stop on it. And this drill bit allows your dowel holes to go in there. We'll do this in all 4 legs. And we'll carry that over. Just clamp it up really well. And yeah, it's going to last for a very long time. Now here I'm showing you the trim pieces. This is basically a cove piece of trim that I make on the router. I'm going to go ahead and glue it and tack it in with these 23 gauge pin nails. And same thing with my trim here that we routed out on our pin router. We're going to go ahead and glue up the back side of this thing, slap it on there as well. And same deal, we'll go ahead and just hold this thing up nice and tight, and we'll tack it in place with some 23 gauge pins. And these pins you don't see, especially because we paint, you'll never see these things. It just kind of holds it in place. Then I can throw a couple of clamps on it, and I don't put the clamps on very long, maybe 20-30 minutes. It's long enough. I just want that glue to kind of hold up. And we'll go ahead and do the back side. Same deal, do our piece of trim. And these pin nails and this glue on this trim is actually what's going to hold this cabinet together. It's part of the structure. So earlier in the video, I didn't put a bunch of dowels along these surfaces because it's just unnecessary, being so we have this big hefty piece of trim that goes in the corner there.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough.
Now here I'm going to take all these clamps off, and we've got the final piece of trim. This is just a piece of beaded trim basically. It's about 1 inch wide, 1/4 inch thick, and it has a basically 1/4 inch radius on the outside of it. We'll just tack that in place, clean up all of our glue. We'll do the same thing along the back side of our desk. This just finishes everything off, makes it look really nice. It gives it that extra detail that you don't see in modern furniture. Here we go and get all the drawer boxes done. I didn't do a video on making the drawer boxes because I've done plenty of videos on it. I use my deluxe drawer boxes. As you can see, just slapping in all the locking devices for our carry drawer box.
I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
Now attached to the fronts, I went ahead and I've cut some 3/4 inch plywood. I'm going to put some double-sided tape on here. Then I take a block of wood with a little bit of double-sided tape on it, and I'll put that block of wood on the front. And I do that because it helps to have even pressure when you pull the front out. I use a 7/8 washer head coarse wood screw, and then that front is attached. We'll do that for all 3 of our drawer fronts, and we'll be ready to move on to the next process.
So remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind
and move on to gapping. These are 1000 shim.
Modern kingdom for the
here I'm going to show you the side of our front. You can see it's built up of the cove, the Greek key trim, and then the lower trim. Pay attention to all those. Those are just double stuck on right now. See, they're all, every piece has been fit without any glue. See how the drawer front sets along the front of the dresser. Notice the gap. It's important to get the gap in the correct location, otherwise it'll grab your eye and it'll look a little bit off. Now next we'll go ahead and yank all of our trim pieces off. I'll glue everything back on now that I'm happy with where it fits. And I forgot to do some of the gluing, but here's the gluing of the bottom piece of trim. But everything has been glued on, you can see the clamps. And same process as before, we tack it on with a 23 gauge pin nail, glue it, and just do a little bit of clamping. Now I forgot to add these details when I was cutting out the legs, so this is a, hold on to your seats here, this is basically just be running an 1/8" bit along a piece of wood. So yeah, I do that I think 8 times. So I did mess up once, which is amazing. And finally we got to put the outside trim pieces on. This trim matches the very bottom piece of trim that we put on earlier in the video. And this trim just carries over along the legs. And it's kind of a tedious process, so grab your sander. You can see I've got a 12-inch disc sander over there, and I have a 45-degree jig set up so that it makes sanding these pieces nice and easy. And it goes pretty quick, but it is a very tedious job, you know. And I'm just putting it on with super glue. You can also go back in and add a couple of pin nails, just so you have a mechanical fastener in there. And there she is all done. It is a beautiful piece of furniture from every angle. And people will love it. It's gonna last a long time. You can, here you can see underneath we have a traditional frame and panel construction, which is timeless and is a sign of high quality. Your customers will like it. Anyone that sees it will know what they're looking at, because it is like the traditional and beautiful. So thanks for watching this video, and like and subscribe, and I will keep putting these videos out. Let me know if there's anything you would like, and I hope you have a fantastic day.